What's going on, everybody? So today we are jumping into some challenge drifts to test out a couple of builds here. Really just one build, and I want to compare it to the standard build that I would probably be running regardless. But we're doing this because of the new legendary items. So you can see here, I have not gotten the invisible escape, which I think would be pretty cool in PvP. I want to get that so I can test it out in PvP. For shoulder pieces, I have gotten the 250% damage to shields, which I'd love to run that as well in PvP, so we can maybe burst some people out like the monks that are running around. But for today, we actually received Radella's Life Brain, which increases our damage to an enemy from Strafe up to 30%. On top of that, we're still waiting on the consecrated coldness. We have the vigilance, which is a little bit interesting, and we also have the one's own fusillade, which is something that actually was a previous iteration of new legendary items. Now, I'd love to have, I don't even know how to say the Shikar, so we could have piercing shots. I think that'd be pretty cool. But as for the build today, I don't have every piece that I want. But let's just go through them all here just for fun. So first off, I have Murder Most. It's going to increase my Vengeance critical hit chance by 12%. And then on top of that, I have the Radella's Life Braid, which is going to give me a little bit of extra damage when I'm strafing onto some single targets. I then have nothing for the shoulders because my skills don't match, so nothing for the shoulders. Then I have Jane's Silent Retribution here. Critical hit chance is going to increase by 50% every single time Smokescreen's concealment ends. Turmoil, it's going to give our Strafe to the ability to launch homing rockets. And then the one's own fusillade, that's going to mark our characters or our bosses for 8% extra damage, which could be interesting with Strafe. So I personally don't like Strafe that much. If we look into the tooltip here, I never ran Strafe, or I never tried to run Strafe, because you can see the damage here, 3.1k per hit. In addition to that, we get the 2.5k with the homing rockets. You can see what it kind of looks like here with a little bit of a homing rockets. It's an interesting skill. It's not bad. If you have higher attack speed, it goes through quicker. But the problem with that is that, like, if you just look at, I don't know, Reign of Vengeance, 26k damage, multi-shot, 9k damage. And these are without modifications, by the way. And then, of course, we don't get to run like any movement abilities in this type of build. Even if we wanted to go back, let's say we wanted to go back, we would be running Reign of Vengeance, multi-shot, let's say Smokescreen and Vengeance. We would have a lot more burst damage for sure. The question is, can we get more consistent damage out of Strafe? And we're going to run just a challenge drift. Now, it's obviously RNG dependent, challenge drifts are, but I think it'd be kind of cool just to see if we can get any value out of this. And again, because we're using Strafe and because we're going to be popping most likely the Vengeance during Strafe, we aren't going to end up being a ton of use outside of Strafe. We're trying to go all in on Strafe, so let's go ahead and do that. Jump into 185 here. I'm not particularly close to the combat rating, but I'm also not super far away from it. This isn't like a demonstration of pushing challenge drifts. I wanted to just try out Strafe for you all and see what we could do with it, with the new legendary item, and see if it's useful specifically for bosses, to be honest. So let's just go ahead and keep going. We don't even have hunger on this build, which is a little bit unfortunate. You can see the difficulty. We are currently 7367. I guess I actually got a big combat rating boost here because I've been farming quite a bit. You guys can see I'm only about 3 levels away from Server Paragon at this point. So that's really nice. But we're going to go ahead and try to group these guys up. Let's drop the Smokescreen and the Vengeance. Let's just go ahead and just strafe it up. And wow, that is just really bad. Oh man, I don't know if we can really get any value out of this, to be honest. I feel like this is just absolutely atrocious. Oh my. If we had piercing shots, I don't even know if this would be any better. Like, this is bad. This is really bad. Wow, this is bad. I don't really know what to say outside of that. I'd love to continue testing, but wow, I don't really know what to say, guys. I mean, maybe you could get some more damage out of it, but you can just see like the ticks on this thing. It's like 3k, 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 and yeah, I can amp up 30% more damage, but it's like, okay, 30% of 3k is additional 900 damage per tick, and that's if you actually are able to channel it for long enough to actually get that amount. I'm not 100% sure on this. Ooh, all right, I'm gonna back out here and just run a normal build because I can already feel that that is bad. That is really, really bad. Oof. Yeah, we're gonna swap over to a normal build. So I wanted to test the new items for you guys, but I feel like with the first group of monsters, you feel like Strafe is pretty bad. And to be honest, a lot of the items here on the Demon Hunter are trying to reflect Strafe. Like they're trying to make Strafe useful. But if I were to just jump in here and just go do a normal build, let's just say I were to go with a pretty standard build. Let's say for challenge rifts, I might run like Cowl of Absolute Punishment. I might even run Murder Most, to be honest. But we're gonna run like Heart of Vengeance here, and then we would run something like on the shoulder, potentially Vash's Typhonic Stampede to give a little bit of CC. Honestly, I personally quite like the Chilling Multi-Shot in Challenge Rifts because it helps me manage the waves a little bit easier. On the shoulder or pants here, I could run quite a few things. I could run the extra damage in Ruinous Path. I could run Koff's Unrelenting Fury. I could even run the Jane's Silent Retribution, which I'm going to go ahead and do so we can compare just how much damage we could do out of the crits. We're going to run the Hungerer, and then we're going to run, but let's see, do we want Flame Multi-Shot? I think Flame Multi-Shot would be probably the best thing to run here since we're running, since we're running the little bit of damage from or chilling from the Rain of Vengeance. So let's swap up our build here, just showcase this one. Guys, I'm pretty unimpressed with that, with what we just saw. Like, that was pretty bad. I don't know. I mean, for those of you out there that might be testing out these new Demon Hunter items, I'm curious what you think about Strafe, because to be honest, this last round of items did two things. One, it tried to do some Strafe shenanigans. Two items try to work together to boost up Strafe. And then there's also the other items that kind of give you stealth and a little bit of valuability for escape to work with the Gloom Guide set. Now, I'd love to do some more testing on the Gloom Guide set, but the Strafe items just seem awful. Like, they seem so atrocious. Keep in mind, guys, that I was only 30 combat rating underneath my opponents in this challenge rift. This should not be a difficult thing. So if I just run around here and I gather up the enemies like I did last time, let's gather up the two elite packs here. Oh, it looks like I'm getting stuck behind a bunch of stuff. Let's just go ahead and burst these guys down. I mean, look at how much damage difference we are getting here. I mean, this is just crazy difference. Like, it was insta kill versus what we were doing last time. And keep in mind, I didn't even use all my multi-shots. I only used 2 multi-shots there, and then we can go ahead and drop the chill. And look, I'm not even close to dying if I'm actually fighting these guys because, well, I have that chill going. But this is just so much better. This is so much better. I don't know if I'm missing it. Maybe there's another Strafe combination that I'm missing. But I wanted to just jump on here and do my first impressions of the Strafe items because I literally just got them. And honestly, guys, I feel like they really kind of shafted the Demon Hunter. Oh, look at that. We got exploded by the worm guys. But I feel like they kind of shafted the Demon Hunter in this last legendary update in terms of how valuable a lot of these items are. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but let me know if you guys are a Demon Hunter, you've been testing out the Strafe items and you find any good combinations. I feel like the combinations that we have right now are just so good. Again, I normally probably wouldn't be running the smoke screen because I prefer to be a little bit more mobile than this, but you can see the damage on this. I mean, look at the damage that we just dished out with all those crits. We basically just one-shot this whole group, and we can do it again here when we're leaving the smoke screen. I find that the smoke screen actually can be a little bit decent if you're cycling through it, especially if you have a Vithus 4-piece, which I don't have right now, but that would make this whole thing a little bit better. What's also annoying about that is if you run Vithus, which is arguably the best set combination for Demon Hunter in a lot of scenarios, then you don't want to run Strafe because it makes Strafe end quicker, so you don't get all this much value out of it, which is a little bit awkward. So I'm not sure how I feel about that either. I don't know. It just feels like the Strafe is just not meant for the Demon Hunter. I feel like if you're able to modify it, for those of you that play Diablo 3, you're actually able to modify Strafe. Strafe is typically a pretty mediocre ability, But with the recent season 27, you can actually modify it with these angelic crucibles to make it so that your strafe shoots out another one of your skills. It doesn't just shoot out like your basic little crossbow shots, it actually shoots out multi-shots or impales, which is actually super interesting, I think. And I wish that this would be able to go ahead and do that for us. But I mean, wow. We just crushed it compared to what we were doing with Strafe. Like, we struggled a ton with Strafe, and this, we just absolutely annihilated the groups. I don't know, guys. I understand that maybe I didn't get a fair comparison. I didn't test the bosses, but let's be honest. That first wave compared to this first wave was just out of this world better. Like, I don't know. Well, again, I wanted to do a showcase of the legendary items, and I wanted to be like, oh, this new item's broken. See if I can get another strafe build in here, maybe a little bit of a unique build composition. But I just feel like this is just so much better, and arguably this isn't even the best combination you could do for the Demon Hunter. But yeah, let me know if you guys have found anything good with the strafe abilities. Let me know if you guys have found any success with the escape new legendary items as well. I'm not convinced, but you know, I could see potentially something going on there. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like the video, sub to the channel. And again, let me know how you guys are doing with your Demon Hunters out there, if you guys are running into these items, because I'm curious to hear what all of your opinions are. Maybe I'm underrating it. Maybe I didn't do a good job of testing it, but immediately I could see a difference in just the group clearing potential. So if you're not running it in challenge rifts, or you're not running it in PvP, you're not going to run it in PvE either, because the burst damage is much more preferred, especially when you're going around in circles. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow.